So finally, you found the one and you are so happy. You've met the parents, you've had the dinners, and you are ready to commit. Well, that's the part of the story that we are on here in the Beatty family's experience of buying their second home and everything that they have been through. Hi, I'm Jennifer Mount, and managing broker and realtor in production at Legacy Realty Advisors right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you haven't been watching this story, all month we've been covering the whole process of buying a home, all the way from start to finish. And so I would love for you to go back and watch the past couple of weeks so you can follow the whole story. We are having a fictional family called the Beatty family. That is my maiden name. But it's a real couple. They are precious, and they have a little, I guess he's 10 weeks old now. He was only 3 weeks old when this whole thing started. So it's amazing how much growth that you can have as a person, actually, and then also just knowledge of what things that you go through throughout a process. So I've gotten to meet both of their parents, their grandparents, their uncles. And so buying a home is a whole family experience because everyone's going to enjoy the home, not just the couple that is actually paying the money. So we found this, our first deal did not go through. We went back on the hunt, found our second deal, and it is in contract. Went through inspections. The seller agreed to fix everything. So now we're in kind of that week, 2 week period of, okay, what do we do now? We got to pack. We got to get movers. We've got to make sure that the title work is brought up to date. So let me talk about that for a second. I have a relationship with who I feel is the best title person in Tulsa. His name is Keith Stitt. He and I met about, I think, maybe 15 years ago. We played in a golf tournament together. And, I was reflecting on a lot of the relationships that I have in my career and in my current company even. And almost, I would say 90% of those lead back to fitness, some type of sport. And there's just something different about people who compete, who hold themselves to a higher standard by putting in the practice. There's just so much to unpack when it comes to the value of sports and as it translates into life, into business, into success. So I'm very grateful for golf and being able to meet Keith way back then. And he does a bunch of things that I don't even know, and I don't need to know. What you need to know is that you need to have a whole team of people that are in your corner that are making sure that all of the details get taken care of from contract to close. And I'm going to tell you 2 funny stories. Okay, first story is funny because it's over. Second story is kind of a real story, but they're both real. Okay, so I remember early in my career, I was going to closing and meeting a couple there, the family that I was representing. We get to the title company, they pull up in a new car. And I'm like, I love your car. That's new. And they're like, yeah, we just bought it on the way to closing. And you're like, ah, okay. I'm going to provide a list of things that buyers should never do after they have gotten pre-approved to buy a home. And one of those major things is don't change anything on your credit. Do not buy a car. Do not buy a boat. Do not buy a whole bunch of new outfits on your credit card, because all of that will impact your debt to income ratio and your approval. So, what's supposed to happen is 24 hours, less than 24 hours prior to closing, the loan officer is supposed to do one final credit pull and make sure that your credit has not changed since you went into contract. Well, That lender did not do that, and therefore my clients did get to close on their new home with their new car. But had the lender done their due diligence, then the closing would probably not have happened. So please do not go buy anything that's going to, or do anything that's going to impact your credit. Okay, now we talked about the bridge loan a little bit last week, and I want to talk about it a little bit more today. The bridge loan is the loan that bridges the gap between when you sell your house and when you can buy a new house. Let's say you are the seller in this particular situation. She's 82 years old and she wanted to move before her house sold, but she needed the money from the sale of her house to buy the new place. So a lot of lenders, mine, Chuck Wilson, he's another, you've got to have a good lender in your corner, have a product called a bridge loan, and that bridges the gap between when you close on your new house and sell your old house. So that also shows up as a home equity line of credit and impacts the title work. Okay, so my trusted title advisor, Colonial Title, Keith Stitt, and my particular representative, Tina and Tammy, they're an amazing team. While they were pulling the title work, they realized that the seller had a second mortgage that had to be taken care of. It wasn't really a second mortgage. It was that home equity line of credit. So that could delay our closing, but because we caught it this week, it probably won't. So the point is, you've got to have all of the people in place to help you execute the whole transaction. It's not just about, oh, I found a house I love, let's go buy it. There's so much more to it than that. Another thing that we've been able to help with this week is the seller decided to, my clients, the Beatty family, decided to lease out their home. And guess what? They had a family member that wanted to lease it. So I was able to prepare the lease for them so that they could get it to their family member, review it, collect the deposit and the first month's rent, deposit that into their bank account so that their lender can verify that they have a tenant. And so now that payment does not impact their debt to income ratio. So there's so many reasons you guys need to use a trained professional to help you with this transaction. So we have the lease in place. We're working through the second mortgage. The Beatty family is packing. And in theory, we're going to be closing next week. So, in next week's episode, we will not have closed yet. So I'm going to do some Jenn's Gems. This is something that I used to do back in the day, back in 2018 with my son, is I went to every week, 50 videos. We went and did things in Tulsa that you should know about. And that is what I'm going to have for you next week, along with a resource guide. I still want to call it Jenn's Gems, but I don't know. I'll talk to Sarah, who is my amazing video editor, and see what she wants to do. But today, what are the 3, 2, 1 that you have from our time together? And thank you for taking a break here on this Wednesday afternoon and getting a cup of coffee and hopefully just engaging with me. And I would love to hear from you. So message me. Text me, 918-671-6836. Let's talk about real estate. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about fitness, whatever you want to talk about. So anyways, our 3, 2, 1 from today, 3 things that you learned. Number 1, you have to have a good title company in your corner. Number 2, you have to have a good lender in your corner. Number 3, you have to have a good realtor in your corner, because there are so many things that can pop up that you don't have the knowledge to address. 2 things you're going to share: Colonial Title. Please tell a friend if they need any title work done. Colonial Title is their place to go. And AMC Mortgage. If anybody needs a refinance, a home loan, Chuck Wilson with AMC Mortgage is their go-to. And one thing you're going to implement this week, and every week I tell you, is gratitude. What are you going to focus on this week to be thankful for? Because what you focus on expands. All right. So thank you. Please subscribe. Please share this. Help us grow our YouTube community. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And I can't wait to see what happens next week with the Beatty family. Hopefully it will be quiet and they will be packing and there are no surprises. And I will share my little Jenn's gems with you. Local referral partners here in the local Tulsa area. So have a fantastic week.